the 1 inch mark. So if you can learn how to estimate this, that will help. The best way to do it is start with your top and bottom line, find the center and make a mark. I'm drawing in Sharpie so that you guys can see it show up better on the Elmo. I wouldn't recommend drawing in Sharpie or ink pen. Okay, so I'm going to divide those two in half. Remember, you're not doing this with me. You're just observing right now. And I'm going to divide these in half. Okay. So that gives me 9 lines, which equals 8 sections. Oh, yes, I can move it over. Sorry. There we go. Is that in the screen? Okay. Up a little bit. Okay. So you're going to start with the head because that's our established measurement. This whole first section is the head. Now you don't have to memorize these sections because I have a handout that I'm going to put up on the screen for you to look at while you practice that has all of these measurements. Just pay attention to how I build the body right now. So our main measurement is our head, and a person's shoulders are about 2 heads wide. So if you start from the center here, make a little mark, move it over, make a little mark. So now I know about how wide my shoulders should be. I'm going to come down to this line right here, this section. And here's the thing, guys, if you follow this, it's like a map. And a map will get you somewhere faster because it takes all the guesswork out. Okay. So I know that's how wide I want my shoulders to be. I'm going to use circles for any of the joints that rotate and move. Okay. So your head and your neck. So the neck is here. The neck's a little bit smaller than the shoulders are. That's fine. Okay. We're going to connect this. These are your shoulders. And this is your torso. So your torso takes up 1 whole space and like 3/4 of the second space. So in the first section, you have their head. In the second section, you have your neck and your shoulders. The third section is your torso, and it fills in all this space. Okay. Now this line is your waistline. Your waistline is not where your blue jeans sit. It is where your body naturally curves in and then goes back out around your hips. So when we put skin over these, you know, it'll be that kind of shape. We're not worried about that right now though. But you do need to know where your natural waist is. Okay. So those are our hips. That's a circle because you can bend and twist and move your legs from your hips. I'm going to go down 2 sections, and I'm going to put my knees, they're going to take up a little less than half of that section. Okay. The femur is the bone in your leg, in your thigh. This is the longest bone in the body. So for our bones, we're going to do long ovals. Okay. Now this and this should be equal. When we go on to drawing action figures, you're going to want to know these proportions, that your thigh and your torso are equal, because that's going to help you make your person look like they're moving naturally. Then we're going to come down here, and I'm going to put a foot in. It's just an oval right now. We're just making mannequins. I know they look kind of like robots, but then you're going to put your ankle in. So that took up about half of that space. Okay, your lower leg is more than just 1 space. It should be about 1.5. Okay. Now, if you want to make your foot look like it's coming forward, you can do, this is called foreshortening, where something's closer to you, it looks bigger. Where it's going away from you, it looks smaller. So if you want to turn the foot to look like it's coming towards you, you're going to make that kind of shape. And then you have your ankle and you connect here. Okay. Last part of our body is the arms. Your elbow comes in at your natural waistline. This is why we paid attention to that spot. This section here is equal to the size of your head. So your upper arm is equal to the size of your head. Your lower arm is equal to the size of your head. You have a wrist and a hand. You can just do an oval mitten. If you want a mitten, you can put a thumb on it. There you go. Okay. Your fingertips come in about 1/2 to 3/4 of the way down your thigh. Okay, so that's going to be one of our check marks. When you draw, once you have completed your first person, you're going to check and see, are my arms long enough or are they too short? Are my thighs the same as the torso or are they different? Okay. Now, if I want to pose my person and have them doing something with their arm, because very few times are we just standing there with our arms straight at our sides like a statue. Okay. I'm going to use this same measurement. I'm going to come out here, make that mark. There's my elbow. There's my arm. Okay, same thing. This and this are the same. Wrist. There he's waving at you. Okay. All right, it's a little skewed because of my camera. There we go, that looks better. So what I want you to do today is I want you to use this same process, top line, bottom line, halfway, 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 half, 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 half. Okay, and then you're gonna fill in those body parts in this prescribed way. Please don't skip ahead and try to do it without the lines. I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for you since you're not here at school with me where I can help you. Okay, I can tell you from years of teaching this project that if you skip this process, you're going to have a harder time being successful. So in 6th grade, if you guys remember, we talked about persistence a lot. And persistence was not giving up. Since then, we've talked about other things in art class. One of those is your inner thoughts and telling yourself that you can't do this or this is stupid or I'm not good at this is not a great way to start out on something new. So I want to take a minute and give you a little pep talk here because when you're starting something new, it can be frustrating, and learning to work through that frustration is a life skill. It's not an art skill. And we resist things that are new because they're hard and we're not confident in them. And when you resist, it can be because you're afraid somebody's going to make fun of you. It can be because you're afraid you're not going to be able to do it. Or it can just be uncomfortable doing something new because you don't think you're good at it. You don't have to be perfect. This isn't about perfectionism. Okay? This is about skill building. You are learning something new. You're not supposed to be perfect at it yet. Your first one might have super long arms or super short little T-Rex arms, and that's completely acceptable. Avoiding doing it because it's uncomfortable, choosing to not do the practice or not do your work at all is not going to help you. That's one of the worst forms of resistance, especially with you guys at home. Yes, I know it's uncomfortable, but let it be productive discomfort. So I want to give you a tip on how to practice. And I may have told you this last year as well. When you practice something, the only way to actually improve at it is to reflect on what you did. So if your first one has short little T-Rex arms, then when you start your second person, you should be focusing on, when you're doing the arms, really refer to that, the example, and make sure that your arms, your elbows are coming in at your waist and your fingertips are coming in halfway down the thigh. There is no way to improve unless you practice. And it needs to be intentional practice. If you just keep drawing people and drawing them fast and not using the measurements and not trying to improve, then you're not going to improve. This is, like I said, step 1 in learning to draw good people. So even if you draw people often in your own style, or if you have done this with me before, practicing the mannequin is going to benefit you in the long run. If you have done 2 or 3, maybe your first one will look like this and have the arms straight down at the sides. Your second one, you might experiment with doing the arms. They could be holding a balloon or a bouquet of flowers or have their hands on their hips. You can experiment with the arms. We are going to move on and do action drawings tomorrow. I want you to wait for me. Okay, even if you have some experience with that, even if this is review for you, the more you practice, the better you get. If you have done 2 or 3 of these and you can go down this line and you can say, yes, my torso and my thighs are the same, the lower leg is just a little bit longer, my hands or my arms are coming in at the right places, I'm using my head and I know how to pose and use the head for the other measurements, then I encourage you to try to draw one without the lines. And if you can draw one, and get your proportions pretty close to correct, I know I'm going to use them still. I'm just not maybe drawing those lines. I don't know what to do with his arm. I'll come out this way. She doesn't know. Anyway, so if you get to where you are doing your proportions correctly using these lines, then try to do one without and see how close you get. Are things proportionate? So that's your goal for today, is to get to where you're comfortable with these measurements and you don't have to absolutely measure out every single little thing. It's going to take 3 or 4 or 5 mannequins to get you to that point, okay? So I'm going to give you some work time if you want to. I'm going to switch my screen so that you can ask questions if you want to.